What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? So, I am jumping on here very quickly, all right, to talk about what today means, why it's important, and we are going to get started within the next 2 minutes, all right? So, we're giving everybody a moment to jump on, and yeah, doing a quick little pop up class. I know y'all was expecting to see me on Thursday. So, I hope y'all been well today. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. So yeah, we're gonna get started in 2 minutes. We're gonna get started in 2 minutes. So yeah. So yeah, I was like, nah, let me jump on here and do a quick class for y'all because I know y'all wanted to jump back into part two of the history of Kimbanda on Thursday. But yes, we are on here now. So got some dope stuff in store. We're gonna start in 1 minute. Start in 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah. All right. So can y'all hear me good? Can y'all see me good? All that good stuff? Put a wine glass if you can see and hear me good. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna jump right into this. So today is July 7th, right? 7/7. So it is a very, very, very important Kimbanda Day, a very powerful time for manifestation, a very powerful time for magic, a very powerful time for connecting deeper with the practice. Okay, so the number seven is extremely significant in regards to Kimbanda because there's a few reasons, right? So when we talk about the number seven, the first thing that we have to look at is the numbers that are included in the number seven as far as the sum of those numbers. So within the number seven, you have the sum of 3 and 4. Okay. And I'm going to break down what the significance of those numbers are. So you have the significance of the number 4. Okay. So when we talk about the number 4, we are talking about the square of matter. Okay. We're talking about the square of matter, the square root of matter. We are also talking about the 4 elements. Okay. The 4 elements of this world, which is air, earth, fire, and water. Okay. These are all of the things that we need in order to create sustainable life on the planet. Okay. So you don't get more physical than that. You don't get more physical than that. You don't get anything that is more encompassing of matter than those elements and then of the number 4, which represents those elements. Okay. So you have the number 4, and then you also have the number 3. Okay. So now 3 is very interesting because 3 is representing, you know, the spirit or the triangle of the spirit, right? So that's representing mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body, and soul. Okay. The things that create you, that create who you are, consciousness. All right. We're also talking about, when we talk about the number 3, we're talking about cycles. We're talking about birth, life, death. We're talking about uh, creation, sustainability, destroying, okay, or creation, preservation, and transformation when we talk about the number 3. All right. When we talk about the number 3, we are also talking about the real trifecta, which is man, woman, and child. Okay. The creation of life. All right. So you have the sum of these things, right? 4 being that in the physical world, okay? Things that are very visible, things that are very tangible, and you have it meeting with things that are the invisible, okay? When we mainly talking about the spirit, when we're talking about the mind, when we're talking about consciousness, etc. So you have the sum of those things that's coming to the number 7, all right? And in Kimbanda, there's a total of 7 crossroads. Okay, so now if you are familiar with the realms, right, we know that the crossroads is the first of 7 realms. Okay, and within those 7 realms, you have 7 crossroads. And within those 7 crossroads, you have the ability to open gateways as well as close gateways, because the 7 crossroads are going to be the 4 crossroads that are open, that are opening opportunities, okay? And then you have the closed crossroads in order to shut things down, in order to close things out, okay? And that is a 3-sided crossroad or a T, okay? So we have these different aspects in Kimbanda. And on a day like today, where you have the number 7 and the multitude of 7, okay, so those are all of the numbers that are pretty much the multiples of the number 7, okay, 7 times 7, 7, 7. You combine that and you have a lot of significance when it comes to this practice, when it comes to magic, when it comes to the type of things that you can do tonight. Okay. Before I go any further, does that make sense? Because I know I kind of just said a bunch in a very short amount of time. Don't everybody speak at once. Okay. So now, in regards to like that breakdown, obviously, this is recorded. So you can always go back in the Discord or again on this page and you can find this and you can go through it in case anything is not making sense. But I tried to simplify it as best as I could for y'all. Okay. All right. So 7, okay. You also have the 7 major musical notes, right? The 7 colors of the rainbow, the major colors that you can use and combine to make other colors, all right? So this number is very significant, obviously, throughout different philosophies and practices in general, but to Kimbanda specifically. And as we go deeper into these lessons, as we go deeper into what are called pontos, don't worry about the spelling or the meaning, we'll get into that in future classes. As we get deeper into these things, you will see the number 7 coming up repeatedly throughout different songs, throughout different rituals, throughout different spirits, different pampagiras, different eshu's, okay? 7 is considered a magical number of eshu, okay, to open up the gateway to connect deeper with this science. And if you took the realms classes, if you haven't, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it because we will be doing a refresher in the very near future. So, if you took those classes and you know that we have 7 realms, 7 realms or 7 kingdoms / queendoms in Kimbanda, then you know that before you can access any realm, you have to go through the crossroads, which is that first realm, okay? In order to access any other realm, you have to be able to cross that realm. All right. And you cannot cross that realm. You can't get into that realm, okay, unless you have a significant understanding and appreciation for that number 7 and understand it in all of its essence. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to say? So as far as today, all right, because we are going over the foundational information that you need to be intelligent in this practice, to be solid in your understanding of this practice, and to be able to build on it and make your own magic and journey in this precise. What we're going to do is, if you are wanting to, figure out, all right, boom, well, if today is a Kimbanda day, like, what can I do in order to, participate in anything Kimbanda related today, other than this class? Okay. What you can do is something as simple as getting a cigar or a cigarette or some red wine or some cachaça or some tequila, and going to the crossroads, going to a four-way open crossroads. Okay, so that's an intersection, a four-way open intersection, and giving an offering of a cigar or a cigarette or wine or liquor or both or whatever, and stating your intentions of wanting to connect deeper with this science, wanting to understand what this practice is, wanting to understand why you're drawn to it. What is it that you're looking for? Okay. And as you do that, it will help you and cultivate you in order to be able to understand all of these future lessons that much more profoundly. Okay. If you are, because this is an impromptu class, if you don't have anything, okay, if you're like, yo, I'm traveling or whatever, you don't have access to anything, all right, you still go to the crossroads and go and take your intentions. Go and take your intentions. Be genuine. Be vulnerable. Okay. You're not asking for anything but a connection. All right. But a connection, but an understanding, but a foundation to actually have a real relationship with these spirits and understand this practice and lifestyle and the culture. Okay. So if you don't have an offering, then go and just be genuine. Okay. If you go and you're being genuine, or for whatever reason you don't have the access to it, to any offerings to take and leave, all right, they know your intentions. They know if you're being genuine. They know if you're being vulnerable. They know if you're sincere in wanting a connection or not. Okay. And that's what matters the most in this. And I'm going to keep saying that, is really coming as you are and being real and being honest. All right. So that is it. Okay. It's not a long class. That's it. If you have any questions, you could put it in the intro to Kimbanda chat. As far as, boom, perfect. Let me say that before, or let me answer that before I wrap this up. As far as offerings, okay, if you bring a cigar or a cigarette, yes, you could light it, puff it 3 to 7 times. Okay, bare minimum, puff it 3 times at the crossroads, puff it no more than 7 times at the crossroads. Okay, leave it, don't put it out, just leave it where it is, walk away, don't look back. All right, if you have wine or liquor or whatever, pour it. You know what I'm saying? Make this simple. Don't overthink. All right, don't overthink. Go, leave the offering, and when you turn around, don't look back, and you'll be good to go. All right. So that's it. Like I said, if you got any questions, leave it in the Discord. I will be seeing y'all Thursday. Bye. Peace.